All right, it's almost 3 o'clock, so I'll get started as soon as possible. Okay, so it's 3 o'clock. I'm not going to try to waste time, but the purpose of today's stream is to take apart the current micro ATX FreeBeam case and install some new panels on it, because as you see here, they are essentially segmented, and I have a big printer, so I'm able to print big, and I guess the curiosity got the best of me, and so I want to see how it looks like with the panels all in one piece, and that's what we're going to do today. And let me go ahead and bring the camera back to its original wide view. Alright, and then let me just double check that the stream is live. And it looks like it is. So good. Alright, so first things first, I need to unscrew these panels and get them out of here. I'll be using my little trusty electric screwdriver to make this go a little faster. And I'm going to be installing different parts in it because I wanted to see how it acts with a modular power supply. And I recently just purchased one just for this experiment. And I think moving forward, I'll probably be needing the ATX power supply anyway, so we have it. But again, just to remind everyone, this is the current panel the way it is stock, and again, there is a lot of segmentation that happened because I designed it so that people with small printers can print this out and enjoy it for themselves, but again, I have a large printer, so I'm even able to print out this entire panel in one go. And yeah, I'm excited to see how it looks like with the entire panel just one piece. And I'll just put this aside, maybe over here. Okay, and now we're going to the other side. And I've also since ditched the idea of having a clip system. I'll show you in a bit. Because the screws don't really distract too much because the filament is gray anyways. Yeah, as you see, the previous case panel came off pretty easily, but this one stayed on. Is because this has like little flanges or clips on the inside that help attach it to the MakerBeam rails. So you'll see these have little protrusions or rails on the inside, and they basically hook into the MakerBeam rail here. And as you see here, this one does not. So it's just like flat on both sides, while this one does have the flanges for that. But I've since ditched it, and again, I'm just going to use the screws. As you see here before, we melted these four pieces together to make it into one, but visually it's still not the greatest. Alright, so we've got the side panels off, and if you watched my previous stream, then you'll know that I put this case into like its NAS mode. That's why there's like this hard drive rack on here. If you go on the link to the printed files, you'll notice that I'm not sure if I updated it, but there should be like one file where it shows the final version of the NAS hard drive rack, because I found out during the stream that this actually won't fit 3 hard drives. The measurements I had were wrong. And again, I think I've talked about it before, but you shouldn't really trust the measurements you see online all the time because they can bite you. Like, technically, with the measurements I had online, I had like ample space in between here, but I guess like each hard drive is a little different than the other. The only thing that's really persistent is the the mounting hole locations, but the thickness, I guess it differs enough that I can't really trust it on. What I should have done is actually just measured out what I had on hand, but I was being lazy, and I think I uploaded that file like right after the stream, and so I guess I didn't really take too much time on it, but it's been since fixed now. I mean, I haven't printed out a new one of it, but it should fit though. It should. All right, I don't think I need anything from here, so I'm just going to leave it to the side. And you have to excuse the mess of my table here. I got a lot of stuff going on. Today was pretty hectic. But let me go ahead and start removing parts out of here so I know I don't need this fan. Forgot I put these in a funny way, where I use these heat inserts as a way to keep the fan in there. Maybe I'll keep this here. And I'll also be installing a different cooler in this one, because even though the heatsink that's in here is pretty big, obviously there's ones that are much larger now, so I'm actually going to be installing this Thermalright cooler just to show that the case has pretty good compatibility in terms of CPU coolers. And before anyone asks about the Noctua NH or whatever, something 15, I don't have one, so I don't know if it'll fit. And honestly too, like this particular cooler is like, I think I bought it for like $35, and it performs pretty close to that Noctua. That's like, I think I've seen it in person for like $115, and the idea of spending $115 for an air cooler is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Like, I remember, like, so this is the Scythe Ninja in here right now, and today I think it still works pretty well. And I remember, I mean, obviously not accounting for inflation, but I think I got this brand new for like $20, and it's just crazy to think about like buying a CPU for a CPU cooler for 115. That's like, I think it's out of control. Because when you think about it, like, what you want a cooler CPU, so you buy like a beefy CPU cooler, but then you spent like $100 and something, but you probably could have put that $115 towards like buying just a faster CPU that can operate at the same temperature as prior. So yeah, definitely like you lose out on a few things with that, in my opinion. All right, so I'm gonna remove the power cables. And I guess I'll reuse this same power switch. I have one already installed on the new panel, but that was just for fitment, so I think I'm going to take it off, because I think I have to actually like solder some wires to it, and I don't want to do that for the stream. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible, and hopefully this time I can keep my promise. Last time I was pretty good. I was only like 30 minutes over, so sorry, I didn't even tell I think I want to do this within an hour and a half, because I think this is a little more involved than the previous one, where all I did was install the hard drive bay, but I think this time it'll take a little longer because I am going to be basically taking everything out. So let's keep going. And we got some comments here. We got Sebastian asks, cheers mate. Hey, how's it going, Sebastian? And then Snaky says, how much filament does it need to make all the parts? I think I'll need to remeasure it. Obviously the file is already online, so you can check it out yourself, but it was definitely, I think, less than a roll of filament. So, oh, sorry, the zoom, it looks at my hands. So I'll try to keep my hands to my side or something. But it should be roughly around like, it's lower than a full roll of filament. It should be, but don't quote me on that. But I know that it didn't take that much. So actually, as a point of reference, I opened up an entirely new kilogram roll to do all the new parts except for the I did not print out the brackets for the motherboard. I didn't print out the bracket for the hard drive, nor did I print out the GPU bracket. But then these are like this part that I didn't print, this part, and that part. It's probably less than like 200 grams, or if even 100 maybe, probably less than 100. And so I printed out the side panel, top panel, front panel, back, lower, and I still have about a little less than half a roll left for the new roll. So yeah, I would say it's like half a roll. All right, so Sebastian S. wrote, in my opinion, Noctua coolers are mostly elevated by their mounting, packaging, accessories, and fans. I built some systems with Thermalright coolers, Peerless Assassin. I think this might be the Peerless Assassin, actually. And was blown away how good they were. Yeah, I mean, I saw the reviews for it, and for $35, like, it's insane, because I think it beats out the previous version of the Noctua, and it's insane, like, that they're able to keep it that low of a price and offer so much performance. And then to your point about all the things you listed about Noctua, I mean, you're absolutely correct. I think it's just basically, in terms of like market fit, they've just posed themselves as like the highest end air coolers out there, and so people will pay that premium to kind of just basically peacock around, knowing that they have like super high end coolers. So yeah, I think what Thermalright is doing is awesome. And I don't know how old my viewers are here, but I'm old enough to know when Thermalright first came out, like many years ago. I remember when the AMD Socket A came out, that they came out with this like cool, I think it was called the SLK 800, and that thing was like the best at the time too. So it's really nice to see like they kind of made a comeback. So yeah, let's keep going. And then Sebastian asks, is that a fractal north in the background? Is that a fractal north in the background? No, it's actually not. It's this was like a little play thing I did. So this was like a question I posed on the internet of like, should Fractal actually create an ITX version of their north? And so I mean, the original plan was to copy the north altogether, but I was kind of afraid of doing that, and so I kind of did like a rendition of it. But now that I've seen people like make carbon copies of it, even selling it, like I think the Lee like has a version that's very close to the north, and other 3D printer users or designers have put out designs that like basically copy it too. So I think I might revisit this and just straight up copy what Fractal North has. But yeah, this is supposed to be like the ITX version of it, and I still think they should make it. Like, I know it'll eat into like the Terra line, but I think they did such a great job with the Fractal North that I think they should have one for like every lineup. And believe it or not, I may actually even revisit this and show you like a micro ATX version of it though, because that'll be pretty easy to basically show. Let's see. So Vikas Patel writes, can I print the FreeBeam instead of buying? The answer is yes. I don't recommend it though, because you'll notice here basically right now there's like loads on the corners, and it is much stronger once you have everything screwed in. But to print out the beam is going to be pretty difficult, I think. Or I don't know if it's difficult, but it's also I don't know how reliable it's going to be. It'll be plastic, and at the same time too, like this is 300 millimeters, and so if your printer can't print that big, then you're kind of out of luck. But I guess you can try like angling it and whatnot, but you will definitely have some issues trying to do that. But to your point, I guess I'm asking myself now, could we just change the files so that it doesn't even need the free beams? I think that's an option for the future, but for now, I'll say no. But it's not going to be a no forever. I mean, again, I have like hundreds of ideas that I've read from you all, and also things that I've been thinking about for years, and so the bucket list is huge. It may happen in the future, but for now, I would really suggest just buying the FreeBeam kit to make this happen. And sorry, I'm changing the. Wait, why isn't my camera not working? Oh no, maybe it's this one. Okay, cool. All right, and Sebastian S. writes again. Got a Noctua NH5 for cheap used 10 years ago. Sent them a picture of the cooler and my board. Got an AM4 kit. That is worth money too. For sure. I think when you're at that level of like a product, you can definitely afford like good QA, good support, and so I think for them to have your back, I think it's I would expect it, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if like Thermalright will do the same thing, but I've never tried. But that's, yeah. I mean, but I also, to your point about like keeping old coolers, like, yeah, I think this is from like 2005, and I still love the heck out of it. So I'm really happy for it. I'm really happy that like AMD hasn't really changed their like mounting too much. This does use the little clips instead of the mounting holes, but it still works pretty darn good. And then Sebastian S says, "Oh, cute. Yeah, I mean, again, I really think Fractal should do an ITX North. They're being silly by not doing it." Let's see, Snakey. I see. You are actually insanely awesome with all these cases you made. You deserve way more attention. Oh no, I'm happy with just everyone being here right now. So, but I do appreciate that. But yeah, thank you. And then SSF Network wrote, Fractal no doubt has a few North ITX prototypes. Sadly, we haven't seen. Oh, 100%. You know for a fact there's like at least like 5 roaming around in the office with just like this little beautiful metal ITX North on them. They might even have like really nice like exotic metals or exotic wood they apply to it too. So that would be really cool to have like a tour of like Fractal's like design arm or something, just to like kind of see what they're up to. And also, welcome to the stream, SFF Network. If you're into small form factor PCs, definitely follow them and their socials. They run a Discord as well too, so definitely hit them up. But I said I wouldn't yap, but here I am yapping. So let me continue breaking this down. I'm actually going to turn it on its side now and go to town with these side clippers. I'm really sad too. Right before I started this stream, I dropped this, and so it's pretty upsetting. Like if I run my fingernail like over the surface, I can feel there's actually a step now. So I'm really, I mean, I have another one. It just I hate like breaking nice tools. Obviously, this isn't the highest end tool, but like it's still sad. And I wish I wasn't a klutz, but what can you do? I don't know if you were here for the other stream where like when I ended up breaking this piece, and you know what? Honestly, it might happen again. We have the same situation where I'm building it from scratch again. So maybe I shouldn't like joke about breaking stuff again, because it's can very well happen in the stream. But I guess that's what makes it exciting. Guido gives a little high five. What's up, Guido? Okay, so I'm gonna get this cable out because I'm gonna never use this for sure. And right now, to be honest, I'm just debating, do I even want to take this apart? No, I do, because there's so many, I have to use the T-slots that are in there, because technically, if you look back here, I do have a little box thing of Maker Beams. That's like a little sneak peek, but that's supposed to come sooner, but I had something come up recently where, God, normally I say this for my Patreon users, but I have this case idea that I've had roaming in my head for a while, but unfortunately I just haven't had the chance to do it. But recently something came up where like I kind of should just go after it, and so I'm actually postponing the previous case that I showed to my Patreon members, and I think I gave a little like a blurred photo in my post, maybe not, but I think maybe it's just for the Patreon members. But I'm going to postpone that one in favor of this other one, because the other one I think is going to be more interesting for others. But basically it involves the question of like, I mean, I know people have already tackled it, but I haven't tackled it personally, but like the idea, like, could you travel with a 3D printed case? And so that's kind of the question I want to ask and answer for the next one, because I do have a trip coming up, and it's a great opportunity to try out that idea. So I'm really excited for it. Rid Van Can R. Love your content. Learning a lot new ways of designing. Can you please make a video sometime of how to measure parts and set dimensions for the standoffs for motherboard? I would love to try making a case. Thanks. If you've seen my other stream, obviously I share my files for free, and I show this stuff online. But one of the goals in the future is to possibly like create like a masterclass of how I approach designing for cases. And so that is definitely in the pipeline. Maybe it's too ambitious, but my goal is to have it done by the end of this year. But like I said in my previous stream, I do want to make that like a little more robust so that people can really approach it and like take a lot out of it. Because I know that like when I do these streams and when I share my files, for instance, like there's only so much you can learn because you don't really get the thought process behind like what was done to create such things. And so I'm hoping that if I do come out with this masterclass, that it'll be like worth it. Because obviously I don't charge for these case files. I do have a Patreon that I charge for, but basically like you're just getting like behind the scenes stuff and some voting weights. But I think if I were to charge for that masterclass, I think it'll be like well worth the money. And hopefully that answers your question. And Spiggy Tech wrote, at Ridvan, you can use schematics from online. Yeah, 100%. That's as well too. I mean, like, obviously, like, get a ruler, get a caliper. I recently found out from another case designer that's on Reddit that Lee & Lee actually posts a lot of their case files on their website. So you can literally, like, look at, like, the newest, like, Lee & Lee M2 or whatever it's called, and then download the entire step file, and you can definitely get your measurements off that. And so, yeah, so quick answer speaking from Spiggy Tech, that's perfect. Basically, Ridvan, like, if you just want, again, like, it's like a hammer, right? Like, it depends on how you want to use it, but if you want to use it as a reference, I think that's totally fine. So check out Lee & Lee's site. They have, like, I think every ITX case they have out in the market right now is available as a step file, so definitely check those out. And then Spiggy Tech also wrote Silverstone and a bunch of others have PSUs and MOBA schematics. That's true, but I will say, Spiggy, I got burned by one of them. So I think the point where like you have files online, good for references, but don't trust them like 100% because I'm speaking specifically to the I think it's like the Silverstone SFXL like X800 because I had that power supply a while ago, but I mean I'll just show it. I mean I've already shown this on Imager, but basically these are maker beams with 150s on each corner, and then obviously the rest are 300. But with these dimensions, you can actually fit ATX. And so I had a build that I posted on Reddit like years ago where I had full ATX, I had the SFXL power supply to the side here. I even had like Crossfire Radeon, oh no, not Radeon, they were Vega 64s. And so it was like a pretty cool system. But I do want to revisit it, and I possibly might have that done next month, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But basically, it was supposed to be the next build that I wanted to show to you all. But if you were here a while ago, basically, I had this new like case idea I want to try out, and it's kind of like time sensitive, so I'm going to go after that instead. And let's see. SFF Network. I posted a link to your stream in our Discord. Feel free to post on our Discord forum next time you're doing something like this. The more SFF community, the better. Revenant. For sure. I may have gotten banned. I mean, we'll talk. Maybe I'll like PM the mods, but I don't know if I have access to that Discord anymore. Like this persona you're seeing is a lot different than what sometimes happens online with my different handles and whatnot. But yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much for posting that. Ridvan Can, you wrote. Let's see. Oh, I think I'm reading backwards. What's going on here? Oh, I didn't see that one from SF a while ago. Okay, so Spiggy Tech wrote, tolerances are a pain, and then Spiggy Tech also wrote, yeah, we chatted about this box, for sure. And then to the point of Ridvan's question about the files online and how to measure, but one thing you can do is basically just take the measurements you find on that Lee & Lee website or even the Silverstone one, and just like print like a very basic like 3D print for it, so that way you can understand just like, oh, it's actually off by like a millimeter or even half a millimeter, and that way you can just like basically have your own numbers. Because obviously too, Another thing as well is like, if your printer is not like 1-to-1 accurate, like when you print, it's going to be different. Like I notice on mine, like I need to like put different measurements versus like, so I have two printers, and one of them I have to design differently for versus like this one. So there's a lot of factors involved, and so and again, to that point, like files are available online, but like I think in the masterclass, I'd love to like go over like what I like kind of like go through in my head whenever I'm like designing those things. Revenant wrote, regarding SSF network, DM me directly and I'll see what's going on, for sure, for sure. But I think it might have been like a site ban, so it might not just be because I didn't do anything bad, but like, yeah. Anyways, well that's like, that's off topic like crazy. Okay, so let me keep going on this. Man, I told myself I'd be done in like an hour and a half, and we were already like 30 minutes in, and I won't be quiet. But I do love your questions and comments though. So, I mean, and this is why I do it too, obviously. So maybe I shouldn't complain. I mean, if I were just to produce the videos as usual, like it's kind of like a one-way street, and I think having this is a lot more fun. But also let me know if you miss the videos, because it's going to be a while, I think, before I actually sit down and produce a video, because I think my cadence back then was like a new video per month, but in actuality, I think I was getting cases out like maybe every like 3 weeks. But the thing is, like, I hate editing videos so much. Like, it's such a pain, and that's actually what really like stopped a lot of the progress for like me making new videos. And at the same time too, like today, like this was supposed to be clean, but I had work to do, and so it just kind of distracted me. So that's why we're live streaming, and instead of seeing the videos, but that could change in the future. We'll see. So right now I'm just basically trying to get this power supply out. What was that? Okay, it was just a fan, but I should probably just take it out now. Hopefully it's not broken. I don't think it's broken. All right, and let's see. So Spiggy Tech wrote, at SUG, I don't know how to start your basis. I tend to design and print a tray as the chassis platform. Sometimes, like, I'm trying to think. Like, that was, for sure. I think if you're doing like a lot of normal cases, you can definitely start with just, I mean, you need the motherboard no matter what, right? But I think after a while, especially for ITX, like this one has like many mounting holes, but with ITX it's just 4. And so once you have that in your head, it's kind of easy to just kind of like go past it. Because like I'm trying to think, like I can't grab it right now. I think it's like in pieces. But do you remember like that skull PC that I had? But it actually had like internal ducting in it, and I actually tackled the internal ducting before I tackled like the mounting of the motherboard, because I knew that the internal ducting was going to take up most of my time. So it really is like I try to tackle what I know is going to be like probably the most difficult to solve. And so yeah, but to your point though, like just getting a tray done is like you're golden. Okay, so taken off the old power supply. So again, this was like a non-modular power supply, and I did want to use it just to show that, like, hey, just because you have like an old or lower end power supply, like you can't build in this case. I just wanted to prove that like indeed you can, and so like you don't have to like go crazy buying like a modular power supply. You know, it's funny. I just got one recently, but I didn't realize that, like, I always thought that like there'd be like some cheap off-brand that I can buy and just get it for like $30, but I was totally wrong. I thought like there'd be like some garbage ones that you'd never even want to look at, but I just wanted it for the photos, really. But I couldn't find anything cheap that was like brand new or like available. But I also didn't go to like AliExpress or anything. I was just looking on Amazon and Newegg and whatnot, but they do not make cheap like modular power supplies. But I guess it makes sense, because like it costs money for like every connector, and so it just starts adding up, and maybe it just doesn't become worth it. But I mean, in my search I saw like no-name like Flex ATX power supplies that were like modular. And so I don't see why they can't just make like a really cheap ATX one. They probably do, they just probably don't sell it on Amazon. Okay, we're almost free of this the power supply. And my other plan was to basically take the heat inserts that are already on here and then install them into the new build. But for the sake of time, I think I'm just gonna leave these in here and then install some new ones. I think it'll be faster that way. Because I've already rambled enough. It's already like 3:30 already, and I don't even have this case dismantled yet, and I still have to do some processing for the new stuff. So this might be a long one, but I think y'all have stayed longer for another one, so I'll try to go as fast as I can, though. I totally forgot to take out this. Is that the right screw? No, it's not. Let's see. Oh, but if you buy the MakerBeam kit, they come with this like pretty cool screwdriver, so you can definitely use that. All right, try to drop this hard drive again. It's probably dead. I haven't turned this on, this spinning hard drive, but I have dropped it a few times, so it's probably dead. But yeah, so this was the non-modular power supply that I basically did some bondage work to get it to behave within the case. And it definitely submitted to it because obviously it worked. And let's see. Spiggy Tech. Makes sense. The project was restricted by the external form. Building in is a strategy for weird shaped project. Yeah, for sure. And then Spiggy Tech also wrote, buy an EVGA bronze or white and cut the cables. That was actually the plan to begin with, because I do have, so the PC that I'm streaming from right now is EVGA, and so in my head I'm like, I have the stock cable still, I have custom cables for it, so that way I can kind of like play around with it some more. But one other thing I was looking at was basically, because I designed this with the RTX, oh my god, my hands are going crazy, I need to stop talking with my hands. Basically there's, what was I gonna say? I totally lost track of mine. Oh, I didn't want the power supply to be super long, because obviously the EVGA that I have right now is like 200 millimeters long, and so it would have gone like all the way here and just blocked the GPU. And so there is one restriction for this particular case where I don't think it would fit if you have a full length GPU. You probably don't want to go any longer than a 150 millimeter power supply, because otherwise you are going to be, let me turn this around. So if you do that, like, well, it's upside down right now, but again, the power supply sits right over here, and if the video card is long, it'll actually hit. So 150 and 140, those are probably your best bets. Let's see. So I need this. So this is the splitter. And I think I am going to reuse these little knockoff fans. I actually have some like better RGB fans, but what I like about these, they're not like pure RGB, they just have LEDs built in. So like for the photos, it just kind of looks, it's easy. I don't have to deal with RGB. Like the motherboard I'm actually going to be putting in, not this one. Well, this one also does not have any RGB headers on there, and so I have to like use like this little like serial ATA RGB adapter for it, which is a bummer because the motherboard is like old and it didn't have RGB headers on it. But okay, so we're almost done taking this guy apart, which is exciting. And as you can see, it's not a full-size micro ATX. It's a little more narrow and slightly shorter too. But I think this should capture most of the builds out there, though. I mean, that was the main intention. Was, you know, besides having to buy the MakerBeams, I did want to have compatibility as like a priority for this build, and I like to think that I hit that marker. But let me know what you think, though. Maybe you're like, no, he needs like X, Y. I don't know what else it would need. I feel like I covered the bases pretty good. It was like micro ATX, ATX power supply, full size GPU. Like I had imagined like if I had like a mid tower case with like some micro ATX motherboard, and like you see that question on Reddit all the time about, you know, oh, I want to shrink down my case. What can I use? And it's like, well, the answer is not many things actually, and hopefully this kind of answers that. Yeah, so this is the old motherboard that I had in there, and honestly, like I'm actually doing a lot of this because I tried taking photos for like the printables and also just to kind of show it off on Reddit, and I just could not get any good photos out of this thing, and a lot of it too is like I think I was just kind of off put by this guy too much, and so we're taking it out. We're gonna be putting in like another crappy motherboard, but I think it looks a little bit better. So we'll see how this goes. But give me like 30 seconds while I find a place to put this thing. Cause this place is a mess right now. Where can I put this thing? Maybe I'll put it on top of the fractal North wannabe. And watch, I bet any money someone's going to be asking about it and I have to take it off. But we'll leave it there for now. Okay, so we are almost done dismantling this. If I just actually start doing it instead of talking this entire time. But I'm pretty stoked that it's Friday today. Felt like a really long week. And maybe it's not even Friday anymore for some people watching, because I know like we've had people from like Europe watching before. Okay, so right now I'm just like basically trying to dismantle as many things as I can off this thing. Okay, so that's gone. I'm gonna keep this as is because the T slots are already inside there, and I'll be reusing a few of them, so I'm just gonna keep that as it is. Okay, so that's gone. Ooh, actually I can just like not even remove. Yeah, I'll just keep it like, I'll just keep this, the motherboard tray thing on there as well. Yeah, that'll make my life easier. I just remembered now, I need another heat insert. Okay, I think I have it. So I even reprinted this back panel. I don't think I needed to. I just thought it would look nicer, but this was like the old back panel. And as you can see, I also went ahead and took a soldering iron to it to kind of reinforce it. It was pretty stiff as it was, but I think adding the melted seams just made it a lot stronger. So not necessary, but I mean, I think the soldering iron was already hot. I don't know. I don't remember if I did it live on the stream last time, but it was like, I might as well just done it anyways. So I did it. All right, so now we've got this last screw holding in the front panel. I'm probably going to be reusing all the hardware that was in here too. But I know, Spiggy, you were in California. Sorry to dox you again. Anyways, but I'm curious where everyone else is at right now, because I like to hear about other people like in other countries. Like the Revenant guy, like from SFF Network. Like, where's home base for you? I wonder. You don't have to answer if you don't want to like get doxxed. Like I just doxed Spiggy. My bad, dude. Oh, Revenant's in Miami. Oh wow, nice. So it's like almost like 7 o'clock for you then. Hopefully you're having dinner. God, I want dinner. I didn't even eat lunch today, I don't think. That was a me problem, though. But Revenant, we're getting a lot of rain here soon, so I don't know how it is in Florida right now. And then Speaky wrote, big state, I'll live. Yeah, 100%. I think our state, even like, I'm in California too, but our state's like bigger than a lot of countries out there in the world, so good point. But yeah, so this is the front panel. Not too bad looking, but again, I think you'll see. I mean, you've probably seen the photos already of how it's all going to be once it's all not in segments, which I'm really super excited for. I just lost one of those hardware things, but I think I'll have to like re-look at it anyways, so it's not a big thing. Revenant wrote, dry season mostly. It's winter, which was basically one night of 58 degrees Fahrenheit weather. Nice. All right. Maker unit. Yeah, Maker unit. Heck yeah. Nice to see you here, man. So Maker unit wrote, in Norway, it's almost 1 a.m. I should already be asleep, but ended up watching this instead. Hey, I appreciate you being here. If you don't know who Maker Unit is, I would think he's probably like the most prolific member of this whole 3D printed case scene. And so if you want to see some other really cool designs, definitely check out his stuff because like they're fantastic. And he's got like great documentation, great explanations. He's still putting out actual videos instead of just streaming. So yeah, if you want to see some really cool cases, definitely hit up Maker Unit. And I think if you're here, you already know about Maker Unit. Spiggy Tech wrote, okay, this stream is full of designers, no pressure. It really is now, huh? Oh, Revenant wrote, always thought it was make run it. That's actually like Maker. I mean, so I say Maker Unit, but maybe yeah, make run it. I mean, I think you're right, Revenant. Make run unit, can you verify that? That actually makes way more sense too. I'm so sorry for saying your like name this wrong, because that's why I kept it all lowercase, so I didn't have to decide right away. That's good though. Yeah, that totally just like blew my mind right now. Gosh, I feel terrible now for like naming you wrong this entire time, but if you haven't fully decided, I think I don't know, which one do you like better, like Make Run It or Maker Unit? I like Maker Unit more because it's like that's like the scene, right? It's like you're a maker, like you're a top tier maker, so you gotta let the world know. But Make Run It also works really well too, though. And then now I'm just going to say Make Run It. Okay, so Make Run It, I considered both, but been aiming mostly towards how you say it, more like Maker Unit. Yeah, I think it works. The good thing is either one works, though, so I think you're not going to lose with either, whichever way you actually go with it. But, I mean, have you actually said the name in any of your videos? Now I'm looking back, I watch all your videos, I don't think I've ever heard you say it. Maybe that's where the confusion is. You got to say it. And then Spiggy Tech wrote, Maker Run It. That's a good one too. That'll throw everyone off. I like it. Keep them on their toes. Okay, so I'm yapping away here, but let me start actually putting stuff together. So I'll just show this off. But look at the front. Okay, let's compare the previous parts to the large parts. Like, I think it's like night and day. Look at how beautiful this thing is. Like, look at that. Look at that sheen. But I mean, to the point though, I know I didn't put like the most effort in making like a aesthetically pleasing joint, because there's ways to do it, but it just takes so much effort. I think Maker Unit, you probably agree. Like, hold on, oh, you didn't put the R in there. Speaking tech, but anyways, like it's hard to make like panels work well and not like totally distract. This one distracts a lot. Actually, I thought I did a pretty good job with the. Give me a second here. Like with the first version of the Maker Beam, I was about to say Maker Unit. I did have these panels, and I basically just made it so that like the joints were like thin and almost like, I mean, I'm putting a little gap in them. There's not supposed to be a gap, but as you can see now, like when I put it together, like it's almost like a seamless like mating surface, but um, but for something like this, it's not very structural. But Maker, you've done some that actually have like slots and fittings in them, um, but I didn't want to put the effort into that because these are free cases still, and so there's still ways around it. But obviously, like I wrote, I think in one of my posts, like it's doable. It just takes way more effort, and so I do apologize for like not giving it my 100%. But like it's just you just kind of have a point of diminishing returns of like, do I want to spend time like doing these things that are basically just like accommodations for like different tools, or do I just like my goal for this channel is just to pump out as much things as I can, and I feel like sometimes I do get held back by trying to accommodate for stuff, and so yeah, I mean, and also to the point too, like I think if I was charging for the cases, I would definitely give you like better designs for like panels and stuff versus like this. I mean, this works. I mean, I think if you're not like too critical, like this is fine. Like I mean, this case has been sitting on the desk and I've been moving it around a lot, and I think nothing's bad happened to it. And at the end of the day, like you just want to hold your parts together. Like this is fine. I just know that if I printed it in one piece, it would look like this. And I love it. Look at that. So you can even see like where my grubby, greasy hands were. But yeah, it just looks so good. Look at this. It's like, I don't know. Anyways, but that's for another day maybe. Okay, let's see. Spiggy Tech wrote, time to ask yourself how you feel about your design philosophy. Time to ask myself how I feel about my design philosophy. I don't know how to answer that fully yet. I think because I mean I originally just wanted to make this channel so that like I can just basically realize a lot of these like case ideas I've been having floating around in my head for a while. And I remember I used to just like bombard my buddies who we play games together once in a while, but they're not like computer geeks, and so I think I may have just overwhelmed them with all like the little side projects I had. And then I think slyly one of my buddies was like, hey, why don't you like just post your stuff, and then maybe like and then we'll check it out when it's there. I'm sure they don't even watch my videos, but yeah, so I think the whole point was basically just to kind of like document all the stuff I work on, because there's always like something happening. Like if you ever like maybe I'm like debating if I want to do like a check out my garage and where I work kind of thing, but because it's like it is disgusting in here. Like it's like a hazard being inside here. And so but there's just basically the point is like there's a lot of projects going on, and I think having the YouTube channel like allows that to happen. And so in terms of the design philosophy though, like I don't really know how that like kind of really connects yet. And then Swiggy Tech wrote, to me, that's where perfection is the enemy of progress. Oh, 100%. So yeah, I think if you're asking in that way, like I do approach this channel with like, done is better than perfect, or like, yeah, perfect is worse than done. I don't know what the saying is, but basically like, yeah, I just want to pump out stuff for everyone to enjoy and kind of like think on. And so, I hope that's what it's achieving, but, yeah, I guess I'll let you guys decide on that. All right, and so right now I'm just laying out the front panel along with the rails, and I'm just trying to like basically figure out how I want to approach this. But let me show you the rear panel. It's not that much different than the previous piece, but because I did have some more material to work with, I was able to like make a little cross member. I actually don't even think it's needed. And it's funny enough, the hole here does fit like an IO shield, but I forgot why I didn't even bother doing it here. It's because basically one of the Maker Beam rails actually sits up right up against the IO panels, and so yeah, I mean I was trying to make it as small as possible, and basically there's just no room for it. You could do it; it's just like a slight bend to the IO shield, but maybe I'll show you later on. Like we should come upon it in this stream today. All right, so right now again, so I think I need to install. Oh, I need to put a heat insert in this guy actually. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn on the soldering iron so I can install some heat inserts and get this going. And I won't turn on the fan. It'll be fast. I don't think no one's gonna die. But, you know, for safety's sake, always do it in a well ventilated place. Wear eye protection. What else? What else should you be doing, guys? Like, should we? Oh, I guess like turn on your fume extractor and all the jazz, because you can't get hurt doing this, or at least like jeopardize your health. But I just feel like I think everyone watching is like 3D printing, and oh my god, like sometimes I come into the garage when it's like actually printing, and my god, like it smells so bad sometimes. And it's not even like ABS too, like it's just sometimes like PETG gives a funny smell, or maybe I'm just sensitive too, because I actually get like eye irritation with just PLA too, so maybe it's just me. But yeah, definitely like 3D printing is not like the best for your health. It's a lot of fun, but I guess nothing really healthy for you is super fun, I don't think. Besides sex, maybe, I don't know, but I guess you could get hurt doing that too. But mostly like things in life just kind of screw you up if they're fun. Like good food. Like name like a really healthy food that's not bad for you. And that's like super good. I guess mangoes are sick, but okay. I'm gonna put this heat insert down. I'm not even gonna put the tip on it. I just have like a chisel for it, or the original like blade type. But I'm only doing like 5 of these, I think. No, I probably lied. I think I'm doing like 7. Okay, so this is just for the motherboard, and let me go ahead and grab the other one that needs it. And I believe this one needs 4 because they are used for the case feet. And it's funny because I don't know if it's the same case for you, Maker Unit, but I swear, like, even if I buy from the same place, the they always like stock like a different heat insert. Like I have these new so I'm almost out of these heat inserts. And I bought some new ones from the same place, but like they're like slightly different, I feel like. But it also could be from where I bought it from. I bought it from AliExpress, so that's probably my issue. But it's happened with Amazon as well too. I know it doesn't happen whenever I buy from McMaster Car. So if you're not in the US, McMaster Car is like a pretty good like hardware place to buy hardware online. It's used by a lot of businesses. It's not really meant for like consumer, but they're consistent. But the thing is, like, you know, for one case, it's okay to buy hardware from them. But then, like, if you're like me, or you're like Maker Unit or Spiggy or Revenant, but like once you start building a lot of cases, these heat inserts start adding up. Like, I think for the first case I built, it was like $20 from McMaster just for heat inserts. So I think that was like 10 or something like that, or maybe less. I don't know, or more. But now, because I make so much, like I feel terrible. Like I'm just buying it from China, and it's like, but it's like $4 for like 200 or something like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to be like, I guess an ethical consumer, if you can call that, and still be like not broke. All right, so I have heat inserts for the feet, the motherboard, and now I need 2 for the GPU. That's what it was. I knew I was missing something. Oh, but for anyone watching though, does anyone here have the new 5090? So let's see. Spiggy Tech wrote PLA and PETG still have VOCs. Yeah, I think anything you have some sort of like near combustion or melting, like you are changing the state of that material, and so like things just off gas. It's like nuts, and so it's not fun. Hold on, let me focus on this. Right now I'm doing a heat insert. It probably would go a lot faster if I actually just used a proper tip, but it's been crazy over here. I almost canceled today actually, but it worked out in the end, more or less. Okay, so now we've got the heat inserts for the GPU. And then Spiky Tech wrote, McMaster is one of the largest online hardware stores in the US. Yes, it is, and they are very expensive, but they are like the best. Like for work, it's like if you're buying stuff, McMaster car. They get stuff out fast. Their communication is awesome, and they have lots of stuff. Maker Unit. So Maker Unit wrote, I use AliExpress too for mine. Bought twice from the same seller and same listing, but 2 different types received. Yeah, I think it is like a Alex. I wonder, like, do you have like a McMaster type for Europe? You must have some sort of like online retailer that just like carries the stuff that AliExpress carries, but like it's like maybe 4 times the price. But yeah, it does suck whenever like. Right now, like if I were to redesign some of the cases in the past, I actually would need to go back into my CAD to like change the dimensions of the heat insert holes because like these are different. I think if you watch my previous stream, I think I may have mixed like one wrong heat insert, even though they're like 6x32. And I remember pressing it in. I was like, that looks slightly different because like the color was a little off. And I think when I went to install the part that attaches to it, it like pulled right out. And so it's a little bummer in that sense. And Spiky Tech wrote, I've strayed away from using heat inserts when I can. I mean, yeah, I think if we lived in like a perfect world, I'd do it too, but I just had such bad luck with that. I think I mentioned this in my previous stream too, where like I've had fans that are now like too worn. I could probably just like remelt like material in there, but yeah, plastic just kind of dies eventually. But I think my use case is just different because like I don't think I really keep a case for that long. Well, I usually have like one case I never touch. But like for a while, like this case was never touched for a while. This was like the polished Sliger SM7570 or whatever. And but now obviously it's taken apart, and so I think if you just keep your cases for a long time, you can get away with just like not having to like change anything, and then using like just like screwing directly into the material. But unfortunately, like that's not the case here for me. I wish it was. I wish I was just like happy with like one PC. Otherwise, like it would make my life so much easier. Okay, so I'm gonna put this rail on, and ooh, the tolerances feel different. I guess we'll find out once I start screwing it in. But wow, it actually feels very different. So if you've been following my little saga on YouTube, I've been having like printer issues, and this might be a fail stream. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully I don't break it. This won't be the first fail stream though. Why isn't it screwing? What did that do? Alright, in Norway, no McMaster, but Germany, for example, probably have a lot more options for Amazon type stores. Gotcha. Hold on, what did I do here? Something's up. It's like the Maker Beam is like not accepting the screw for some reason. But I think it might be like my printer. Like I'm wondering if the little nubs I put in there were printed wrong. Oh no. Can a file fix that? Right, you know, I'm just gonna let these peanuts go out and then just look at it from here. Man, what did I do here? It's kind of worrying me now because like if this doesn't go in, this is not gonna happen. And Ridvan Can wrote, I live in the Netherlands. Mostly shipping is the reason for higher prices. If you buy high quantities or more stuff from the same place like Amazon, it's almost the same price as AliExpress. Ah. And then Make a Unit wrote, yeah, I tend to prefer AliExpress because the shipping from, for example, Germany to Norway is very expensive even for tiny objects. Yeah, like I remember there was one, I forgot which case it was I posted a video for, but it was like 4 like nuts or something like that, and it cost me like $10 to ship it. It hurt my heart to like press buy on that one, but at the time I was like, man, I need to get this video out. I gotta do it. And yeah, I paid like triple in shipping than I did for the actual part, and it really like hurt. Right, so it looks like I got it in, but man, this might be a fail. If you watch my previous stream, I like broke it, and this feels like it's gonna break. Well, either way, we have one of the brackets in, and now I'm going to install this other one. Just let all those T-nuts slide out, and we'll just count them on later. So if you don't know what I'm doing right now, basically I'm just I'm installing the rails that hold the motherboard. Let's see. Spiky Tech wrote, the challenge of buying stuff in Europe is tax and tariffs. Yeah. And then Spiky Tech wrote, you guys get hit left and right. You guys get hit left, right, up, and down. You should have just finished the entire the combo for that cheat. I actually don't even remember. I should be old enough to like actually remember that, but I don't. Oh, maybe I reused the wrong screws? No, I don't think so. If we could buy stuff from the US, paying only $10 shipping that'd be considered cheap. Yeah, I mean, I get it though. Like, not to get political though, but I mean, obviously, you know, you guys have high taxes and tariffs or not and whatnot, but I think having healthcare is kind of cool. Yeah, I need to decide what I want to put on here because I think I have to install the front panel, and I don't want to keep removing it over and over because I'm not really like super happy with my print here. Because I know that when I printed, there's like, let me see if I can zoom in on this. I probably should not fiddle with it so much, but basically, this might be a little zoomed in too much, but if you see here, these holes are recessed. Oh, sorry, this hole is recessed over here. And the way I printed it, I actually printed it with, this side down because I did have I had a protrusion for one of the motherboard mounts up here, so it had to be printed this way. And being me, I decided not to put supports underneath that recess, and there's no fillet, so it's like a flat surface. And I think maybe my printer, I need to get the cooling like figured out, or maybe it was running too hot in there. I mean, I did have the lid off, but it looked like some of the material might have drooped, and so I think it's causing basically like layer adhesion within that screw area. So not the best, but let's continue on. I know that we got the motherboard in. For sure, I need at least 2 T-nuts for the side panel. Okay, so 2 T-nuts on each side for the side panel. And I know I need a T-nut for each of these tabs for the front panel. So at least one on which side? Let's see. It goes this way, so it needs to be in the interior. So I'm just trying to talk my way through this because I think in my last streams I ended up having to like remove them. Actually, in the last stream, this is how I broke the other one. I had it all up like this, and I think I like elbowed it, so I don't want to do that. I'll try to be more mindful about it. And then Spiky Tech wrote, yeah, the Konami code. Yeah. I you know, that's like definitely like my like my demographic, and it is kind of sad that I don't remember the entire code. And we actually used to play that game too. It was like called Contra, I think. That was a fun game. Okay, so side panel. Tab for the front panel. Oh, I need, how many do I need? So the bottom panel also needs, it looks like I put 4, but I think I think 2 is enough. Now we'll do 4. We'll do 4. So the bottom rail, the bottom is here, needs 4. Let's just put 4. I don't think I need it, but we're doing it. And then Maker Unit wrote, cheapest shipping available right now for 1 kilogram spool of filament from Amazon US to Norway is like $14. Oh, wow. And the funny thing is they charge us extra 25% taxes on the original price. Oh, that is rude. So that's kind of garbage to get charged on shipping. I'm sorry to hear that, Maker Unit. That's a bummer. I'd be mad. All right, and I need 2 for the top. Yes, 2. Because that's a lot. That's like, I mean, filament's already $20, and you're paying another like 15-ish. That's like, dang. You might as well just buy directly from like Prusa. Is that better than to buy from Prusa itself? And Maker Unit, I know you've got tons of like those Prusa points, so you must have like tons of like. Have you ever used their free filament program whenever you have enough points? Because I do have enough for like a few rolls, I think, and so I think it'd be pretty funny to like actually take advantage of it. 2 for the top, 2 for the or 4 for the bottom. This thing's like wiggling and it's scaring me. Okay, I think I got everything. I'm gonna regret this, but we're gonna close it up. Okay, so I'm going to now attach the front panel to the rails, but I just remembered now, I actually changed the design of this a little bit. You'll notice that the new front panel is a little wider because this was like a 180 millimeters, because again, I wanted this to be accessible for people with small printers, but I ended up just basically printing whatever was part of the side panel into the front panel, and that's why it's a little wider. But it also means that now the rails do not sit flush, and I just activated the zoom. The rails don't sit flush with the front panel anymore, but I think we can still do it. So this is the top, and I hope I got this right. Oh, so I actually need, do I need a rail here? I don't think I do. I hope I don't. Because taking this apart's not fun. But I think that's like any PC, right? Like, I don't know if there's any PC where like, God, I can't wait to take this apart. All right, so now I'm going to be screwing in the front panel to the rails. And I'm just going to change the screwdriver because I think this one's going to require some finessing, because this is the one I broke last time. And basically, when you're first putting it together, it's pretty fragile, but the moment you get the side panels on, like, it's not a worry. But it's just really like the beginning, and where I'm like now like a little nervous. I'm a little more nervous than usual because it did break last time. That was not fun. But what was cool is that we were able to find the solution on how to actually like make it work. So that was at least like I think people I used that technique where you use baking soda and super glue, and it worked. And I think some people thought that it was a pretty cool thing to learn, because I don't think many people know about it. You mix baking soda and super glue, and it forms almost like an acrylic, and that's what allowed me to basically repair that damage while on stream, and still be able to like actually use the case too. So if you're ever in a bind and you do some goofy stuff like I do by breaking stuff, super glue and baking soda. Definitely wear a mask when you do that though. Not the healthiest for you. Okay, so that's there. I'm going to loosen this up a little bit. It's a little off. So with the Maker Beam, there's little slots, and you can basically... Wait a minute, what happened here? Did I strip one? It feels like I stripped it. Oh, no way. I think I did. Oh, wait, no. I think I'm using the wrong screw? Why is it being so finicky? I think my prints are really, like, off. Unless it's just a way too small of a screw. Let's try another screw. Okay. Yeah, so I did link this. Basically, this is the kit that I'm using for this particular build. And let me see about using a different screw. And the motto is basically just keep finding screws until it fits. Maker Beam's a lot better about documentation. So again, if you're looking for other cases to try printing out, definitely check out his work. And Spiggy Tech too. Like Spiggy Tech, you had like an essay up there for one of your builds. It was like so thorough for the documentation. Like I think if you were to get building that case wrong, like you were just like not capable as a human being because you laid everything out. It was like the perfect document to be sharing for a case versus like me. Like sometimes like there won't be any documentation. Just watch the video and watch me fail, and you'll know how to build it. But you do a lot better about that, or most of you do, so it's good. Let's see. Cheapest. Okay, so Maker Unit wrote, I did buy 2 spools a year ago, roughly. Sorry, I did buy 2 spools a year ago, roughly, but shipping came to $28, 28 euros, so the savings aren't really that big. Oh. Right now I'm collecting points until I can buy a free Prusa Mini or something. Oh man, but you know, I bet you're very close though, because you put out some numbers. So if you're not familiar, basically with where I upload my files and so does Maker Unit and Spiggy, you basically put up to Printables, and Printables is owned by Prusa, the 3D printing manufacturer, and the more your models do well in terms of like likes or downloads, they give you like they call them Prusa points. And with enough Prusa points, you can actually like again like to make your unit's point, you can get an entirely free printer just by uploading and sharing your files. And so if you I mean maybe you're just really good at CAD and you want to just share files, like that's actually a pretty good way to like get yourself a free printer. And then Maker Unit wrote that he hasn't used his Prusa points yet because he's saving it for a printer. I definitely am not very close to having a printer, but enough like I can buy some spools. So maybe I'll try it out one of these days. But I don't think. I mean, I have to look again. But I think last time I looked, Prusa did not have PETG with carbon fiber as one of the options for the free rolls with the points. But they may have changed recently. I don't know, but I'll have to check it out again. But I think because that was one of the reasons why I didn't even use the points when I had them, because I was like, well, they don't really have what I want, and so I'll have to check it out again. And then Maker Unit wrote, that's back when they only allowed 1 spool at a time using points, so the 2 spools and to be shipped out in 2 shipments costing $14. Oh, that's kind of, it would probably cost me even more, probably, right? Like, because I'm in the US. And then Spiggy Tech wrote, yep, my design theory is one tool, one type of screw. That's actually a really good one. In my previous smaller cases, I tried to keep that. I think I stopped doing that when I started putting on I/O in the front, like for the Steam Machine replica. I think I had these 2 USB 3.0 ports on there, and yeah, like it was like a 2.5 M2.5. Like that's like a ridiculous like screw size too. But I mean, I had to use it, so I think that's when I start deviating away from like exactly what you're saying right there, which is the right way to do it, because like it's just better for whoever's printing it. So yeah, good on you, Spiggy Tech. And then Maker Unit wrote, I mean, I've been uploading for years, and I'm about 40% of the way to Prusa Mini. If I save up for the Core 1, I estimate to afford it roughly in the year 2040. And then by then, like by 2040, you could probably just buy a robot that like holds like one of those 3D printing pans and just like does it right in front of you. So, in other words, maybe we'll never get like the Core 1. But I honestly, Spiggy Tech, I'm surprised, like, or maybe it's just for your channel, you don't really take the sponsorships of like getting free stuff, which is I think honorable. So, because I'm sure you've been approached with like tons of free stuff about even like free printers and stuff. So, Yeah, but I think I say this in every stream. If Prusa comes out with a 400 by 400 Core XY enclosure, stock with a .6 nozzle, I will buy that thing. That'll be sick. Like, I'm still bummed that the Core 1 is like still pretty like it's still pretty small, right? I think it's like not even 300, but I could be wrong. But I remember it wasn't that like I. The reason why I don't know much about it is I saw the dimensions at the time, and I was like, oh, not really interested, because like it wouldn't really be much of an upgrade of what I have so far. So, but I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. And then Maker Unit wrote, there is a max number of points you can get per model per month, so you need big numbers of models to get faster points. Oh, actually, Maker Unit, do you still get points whenever you're uploading your paid files or like your subscription based files? Because that'll be kind of a bummer if they stop that on that. But I'd love to hear your answer on that. And then Speaky Tech wrote, I'm pretty low key. I don't do creator content though. I should open a Ko-fi. People offer to donate often. Yeah, it's Biggie. Like, I'm surprised you don't even have like an offer me coffee thing. Like with the stuff that you're doing, you should. You can. I mean, like you said, people are offering to actually like donate. So get on that. Okay, I actually don't need. So I'm still trying to figure out what tea nuts I need, and I know for sure I'm probably gonna get this wrong. What am I missing? What am I missing? Okay, I think this top one only needs the side panel and the front mount. Okay, let's see if I'm right. But this should not go there. Where did my screws go? I guess I have to use some new ones. That's odd. Maybe it's like stuck in the previous one. And then Maker Unit wrote, only for free files. Oh, okay, only for free files. And then Maker Unit wrote, speaking of free 3D printers, I've got the Elegoo Centuri Carbon at home now, which isn't even public yet. Can't really share much though yet. Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely subscribed to you. So if you're not subscribed to Maker Unit, everyone watching, you need to get on that, because he's like top tier. And that sounds exciting though. Like I mean, I know you can't talk about it, but I mean, could you at least say like it's applicable to what you do? Like it's, but maybe that's too much, right? Because I mean, that's like that makes up a lot of that, has a lot of assumptions and stuff. So you don't have to answer that. I'll get you in trouble. All right, so now I'm going to be installing this front mount, but I probably should just turn it over so I have better access to it. But it is getting stronger now as we attach more to it. Actually, Maker Unit, I think the MakerBeam company, they're for sure in Europe. I just don't remember where in Europe, but oh man, where were they from? Because I was talking to them like years ago. I was actually having problems with these things, but that'd be really cool if like you can get like access to them pretty easily and not have to pay crazy shipping. Okay, we got one of that side done, but you can see it's coming together. I'm pretty excited. Let's see. So the Click Online, hey, welcome to Click Online. I remember your name. Two of my favorite case builders on at the same time. Maker Unit, I am Edward Hoare from Printables. And then Maker Unit wrote, honestly, I've been too occupied with finishing up another project that I opened the box literally an hour ago while watching you. It's been sitting on my desk for a couple weeks unopened. You know, it's funny, like so Cheaty Tech sent this to me, but it had also been chilling for a long time, and I finally just like did it. But I get you though, especially when you have a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I don't know if you have kids. I'm sure that'll like change everything too. But I screwed up. Gosh darn it! I thought this was the no. Okay, no, so I thought this was the top. This is actually the bottom. So let me go ahead and turn it around for y'all. But I thought I screwed that up, but I didn't, thankfully. All right, so now we're gonna put the last bar in. So this is the bottom. So the bottom has like 4 T-nuts on it, and so I need to basically. So this T-nut's gonna be here. Why am I so confused right now? I'm so confused right now. Okay, so I only need 2. Okay, I only need 2 for this side. So this is going to be the outer wall. The bottom facing ones are going to have 4. And then the one facing inside is going to have just 1 for the front panel. All right, so that should be good. That should be good. And then Speaking Tech wrote, I think MakerBeam is Dutch. And then MakerInt wrote, hey Edward, nice to see you here. And then Blumenu Mfoco, hello. Blumeno from Brazil. Hey, nice to see you. From Brazil, man, that's cool. MakerInt wrote, no kids yet, just a dog. I mean, a dog is a lot of responsibility. I mean, there is a reason why I don't have any pets, because like they're like little kids essentially, like, you know. Well, I guess if you actually like love your dog, you know, I'm sure you met people who are like own pets and they're just like not the best owners, and you can get away with like being, you know, have more time or whatever. But I think if you actually really love your animal, like they take up a lot of your time because they deserve it. And so so don't downplay you having a pet, because I'm assuming you're a good owner. You seem like a nice person, but it'd be pretty funny if you're like a total like a-hole about animals. It's like you have like a perfect like YouTuber persona, and in reality you're like Michael Vick. If you don't know who Michael Vick is, you can Google it. It's terrible. Not a good person about animals. The click online. Now I have my K2. I guess all I'm missing is a laser cutter. Any suggestions? I do not. The only laser cutters I've ever used were like industrial level, and so they would mean nothing because they're like 100K or something like that. But I take it back. So I need to do a video on it. I have a project coming up that's going to be using it, but many years ago, I bought one of those like small desktop print CNC slash. So it's like a CNC, it's a laser cutter, and I have to check if it does 3D printing. It probably does. I think it's just laser cutting and CNC. So I do have a little tiny one, but it's like the bed is like tiny. Like I'm about to like Prusa Mini status, but I do have a project coming up for it that I'm pretty excited about. That's gonna need it, and so basically, long story short. I was trying to score a free unit. I won't talk about it, but basically, I'm having to recreate my own thing of another thing that already exists, but I couldn't 3D print it, so I'll be using the little like CNC feature for it. Pretty excited for it though, so you know, keep a lookout for that. But anyways, within all my yapping, look at this. So now we've got like the back panel and the front panel. And I can't get over the front panel. Let's see. The click, you have the K2. I think that's a pretty big printer, right? And so, like, it just feels good to print big stuff, right? I think you can agree with me. Let's see. The click wrote, no such thing as bad dogs, just bad owners. I reckon you would be both good owners. Well, define good. I mean, I think... I'm not an owner for a reason, because I think I'm just like super selfish with my time. No, I love animals though, and it does break my heart whenever like I run across like an owner who's just like terrible about their dog. It's even like little things, but it might just be me. I'm like too like neurotic about it or whatever. But like when you see like really obese dogs, they're really funny and cute, but it just kind of breaks my heart knowing that like. They're like not in the best health. Well, I keep saying that, but my cats were pretty fat when I had them. funny thing too, I love animals and stuff, but allergic, deathly allergic, like to the point where like it's just not fun. But yeah, I would. I think if I had more time, or if I was like super well off, I'd probably have pets again. Because they're not cheap too. I mean, I don't know. Again, going back to like being a good owner or a bad owner, like I'm sure you met like people who were like their dog gets like sniffles and it's like, oh, gotta put him down, you know, like. But you know, any little thing, like any doctor visit, it's like buying like a. I don't know how it is in Europe for like maker unit, but like I remember doing some vet visits and it was like, man, like with the money now, like I could buy like an RTX 5090. Like, do I make sure my cat's okay, or do I buy myself an RTX 5090? And I think some bad owners out there would probably go with the RTX 5090. All right, let's see. So Spiggy Tech wrote, you can get a CO2 laser cutter for around 2K. And Spiggy Tech also wrote, it's a dinky machine. If you need a cutter, get a full cutter. Yeah. So, and I think too, like I mentioned that I feel like 3D printing is really bad for your health, but I mean, there's like absolutely no way of escaping jeopardizing your health with a laser cutter. Like you like extracting the fumes is like number one. It's like so bad. But I would love a laser cutter though. But I also feel like if I ever got one, like a lot of the designs I have for cases would probably be like not very applicable to many, because I mean once you have like the ability to just create really large panels like that, it opens up so many possibilities. Like I think Maker Unit, you have a case that utilizes an option for laser cutting, and like it's awesome, right? Like having a piece that large and that strong, and then being able to like change the shape of like the venting and whatnot. I mean, obviously you could do that with 3D printing, but you can't do that for like a super large part unless you have like a really large printer, and not everyone has one, obviously. So yeah, would love a laser cutter though. Okay, so now we got the lower panel. It's even just it gets stiffer and stiffer as you add more panels to it. Right now I'm debating, do I want to add the top panel before I install the power supply, because maybe I might need that space. But I do also want to install a fan on it, so maybe decisions. Okay, what I'll do actually is let me go ahead and install the feet, and that way we can kind of like bear the weight of the part or the machine. Okay, let's see. Maker Unit. The dog was like 2,000 in 2020, but there haven't been many vet visits required. Good. So the biggest cost is the food, toys, and chewy chicken bones. Yeah, like, and to that point too, like, you know, as bad owners, you can just buy like crap food from like whatever store and just like feed your pets cardboard essentially. Like I had cats where near the end of their life they couldn't eat like kibble anymore. So kibble is like the little pellets that normal pets eat, but like yeah, we had to buy them like basically like meats and like wet food, and it adds up. I mean, if you're a bad owner, like that won't matter though. And the Click Online wrote, we had surgery on my dog's hernia. It cost $500, and he is an even better companion now. But prices in Australia for pet healthcare are a lot less than anything we see in America for healthcare. No, 100%. Like you saying you had surgery for your dog for only $500 is like, I think many pet owners here would like kill for that type of cost, because I think for that $2,000 I paid, they didn't even do any like actual incisions. It was all like they were just triaging what was actually wrong with them, and like yeah, like it costs like an RTX 5090, but if it costs that much, that's pretty cool. And I think that's really cool too, that you can like just pay that little to own a dog, because yeah, they are not cheap. The Click Online at Spiggy Tech, looking at the Creality Falcon 2 with 40-watt cover it all, hoping that will be big enough and be the only purchase for a while. Oh, I'm gonna leave that to you to think on, because I feel like all these things are like just money pits of tinkering, but maybe you'll have better luck with it. All right, so I have the front, bottom, and rear, and now I'm going to install the motherboard. Or should I install? No, I'll do the motherboard. Okay, so speaking of like really funny purchases, so this is I think I actually got this on Amazon, but you probably don't know Soyo, but way back then Soyo was like, I would say they were even more like boutique than like Asus was, or like Gigabyte. Like back then, like if you were buying Soyo, like it's like you were actually like kind of like bawling because you really didn't need to buy it. I think one of the things that they had in the past was like they had they didn't have white PCBs, but they were like a really like higher or a lighter gray, but they were like touted to be like more like heat capacity and stuff. But Soya used to be big, but now I maybe they're still big in like China and stuff, but I rarely see anything about them now. But I got this on Amazon, but I'm sure you can find it on like AliExpress as well too. And then again, like I was trying to buy a micro ATX board, and this is what I could find in the budget that I had. Obviously I could have gone more, but like this is AM4. It's a so chipset's A520. Not the best socket, but it's technically micro ATX. Obviously it's like small. Where did I put the other one? Oh yeah. Like it's definitely smaller than like the other micro ATX board I had in there. And actually, give me 1 second. All right, never mind. I don't have another micro ATX. I thought I had an older one but I think I may have thrown it away because it was like a dead board anyway. But let's get this thing installed here. Let's see. Spiggytech, yeah. Make Unit wrote, we pay like $50 a month in dog insurance. I think that's worth it though, like to get insurance for your pets. Like again, like one visit where they don't even cut them open or anything can cost you an RTX 5090. Well, no one answered that. So basically, wait, YouTube is not receiving audio. Can you guys still hear me? Because I have this like message on here that says my audio's not being recorded. Let me know. Hold on one second. What is it saying? Well, hopefully you can still see. But does Soyo still co-launch with Maxsun? I don't know. So I think Maxsun, like I've never heard of them too. So it may be even too like a niche for even my take, I feel like. The click online. Something tells me you want an RTX 5090. Yeah, I think that's very safe to assume. That would be sick to have one. I know that like the uplift for the performance wasn't like the greatest, but it's still technically the best video card out there. And maybe I'm sad when I say this, but like I love the living heck out of Cyberpunk, and so for it to perform so well with all the settings cranked up, like I would love to have one. Okay, cool. So the click. Oh, so Making Unit says it's kind of choppy for me, but I thought it was my own. No, I think it was me. And I still have like a message on there. Is it still choppy as of right now? Okay, so the audio stayed okay, but so yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can deal with this really quick because I do have like an error. Okay, well, I think it's okay. Let me know if it continues being choppy. I can maybe like drop the quality down a little bit more. But right now I'm just trying to stop myself from yapping and installing this motherboard in here. But you know, when I bought this motherboard though, I was really surprised it was I think it was like 40 bucks. And I was like, hey, like all I need it for is to just do measurements, take a few photos, like, and that'll hopefully fulfill like, because we've had a lot of comments about wanting micro ATX, and this whole like FreeBeam version of it was just to address all of that, because obviously I don't really have a micro ATX board that I use, but I did want one on hand just to like verify stuff, and here it is. And I do need to install the power switch. Let's do that. All right, so Better Design Living says, yes, choppy. So Spiggy Tech does write, might be a proximity to you, but it seems smooth. There it is. Oh, so it is, okay. I wonder, what can I do about that? Give me 1 second, let's see. Livestream. I'm not even sure how to like really solve this, to be honest. Okay, so it says that it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, or maybe is it my PC? I did change some stuff on it. It's overheating. No, it's like 1% utilization. No, it doesn't seem like I'm dropping any frames. No, I did drop some frames. Huh, that's so strange. It says I have like 4.8 kilobits per second, so that should be enough. It is not the fastest, obviously, but it should be fast enough. Okay. Oh, the click has to go. It's 11. Yeah. All right, take it easy. Yeah, take it easy, click. All right, I think. Oh, weird. Okay, so maybe it like fixed itself. I hate when that happens, when something just fixes itself. But it could also just be my internet. Our weather's really weird right now too. Like I think we're in for a rainstorm coming up, and so it could be that too. Like where I live, like sometimes like if it gets too hot or like it gets too windy, like they will just like turn stuff off just for like safety's sake, and so I'll like either have like no power or no internet, and that's what happens when your city doesn't invest in infrastructure, I guess. Like I'll just say I live in the Bay Area, which is like the Silicon Valley, like, and it's like really sad that I don't have fiber internet. Like I watched them put the fiber internet in front of my house. Like they dug into the streets, but like that was like 3 years ago, and yet they're still like crawling. And I think it really is like the Comcast don't want like better internet for people. But what can you do? Okay, so I got the power switch in, motherboard's in. Let me just go ahead and plug in the power for it. Yeah, so you can see that it's not like, so the full size micro ATX board would utilize even this mount over here, but mine only utilize these two over here. So at least I'm just showing you that it's at least bigger than ITX, and so that's kind of the main point, is that it is like micro ATX. Okay, so now I'm gonna put in the power supply, and basically in the previous build I had that non-modular one, but I did just pick up this one here. It's by XPG. It's 750 watts, but the main thing is it's modular, and unfortunately I did have to pay for it. I was trying to like, I swore I had one lying around. That's why I was like, oh, I don't have to pay for one, but I didn't, and so I had to end up like buying this thing, which really sucked. And I'll be putting it with the case fan, or the fan out. That's going to be up to you though, how you want to do that. Oh, and I also did, well, the file online should be fixed, but I was actually missing a mounting hole in the original stream. Do I have it? I may have it. I think I even just drilled it just because I wanted it. But anyways, like there was a missing hole in the original stream, but it should be good now. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this power supply in, and I hope back when you started building it, it went back to, oh my god, I do apologize. That's a bummer. I wonder, like, is it like, I wonder if it's still choppy right now. Maybe it could just be my internet. Honestly, it could be what's happening. but it still says it's like 4.8 kilobits per second. So you might just be very like inconsistent. And if you have to drop off, please don't feel like you have to stay, because I mean I hate watching choppy streams too. So don't feel bad about having to hop off for that. Let me go ahead and turn this thing over. And ooh, it was dropped it there. In my previous stream, someone asked like, could we use this case in a conventional orientation, basically like something like this, where the CPU is up top, you know, and then the and the video card could be in the bottom. And I think if you were to print it the way I printed it now, I think it definitely would be more feasible. I would still probably not suggest it, just because, like, well, I think it'll be much stronger now because the front panel has way more material. And so Maker Unit wrote, seems good now, but I have to go as well. Unfortunately, it's almost 2 a.m. here. I have to go get some sleep to have any chance of being productive tomorrow. For sure. Hey, but I do appreciate you stopping by, Maker Unit. Again, if you guys are watching and you're not following him yet, do so, because he has like fantastic stuff. You can't miss what he's making. So I appreciate it, Maker Unit, and hopefully you get some good sleep later. So now I'm gonna just install the screws for the power supply. You know, it's also my issue of just yapping too much, I think. But I just love talking about this stuff though, so I can't help it. But I will try to be better about it though. The problem is if I just don't, like, I think a lot of my talking is from when I'm answering, but I love answering your stuff. And I suppose I could just be like head down focused and just keep working and it'd be a lot faster, but then we get to miss out on kind of the cool conversations that happen. Oh, for sure, Makita. All right, take care. And thank you for stopping by. Yeah, I need to like ask about that choppiness, because I've also noticed it when I'm playing video games. Like I'll have like super nice ping for like hours, and all of a sudden like it'll just be like I'm in like the 800s. Like normally like I hover around like high 20s, but then sometimes like out of nowhere, like it even happens to my wife when she's even just working on like Google Docs, and all of a sudden like our internet just like pooped itself. But it could just be like we need a new modem, maybe a new router, I don't know, but not fun. Okay, so power supply is in. I need to get the CPU inside here. So I'm actually taking apart my main gaming PC to build this right now. So I'll be installing this AMD 5800X3D, which is still a pretty good CPU in its own right, I think, for nowadays. It's still like high mid-tier. I can't complain about it. Let's see, Spiggy Tech Road. This is why you need a personal Discord. But you know what? Like, it's just, I feel like it's like it'll be like one more thing to handle. And again, I need to figure out like my my access stuff, because I think yeah, it definitely broke some like TOS or something like that. So I need to get that figured out. Okay, so we got the CPU in, and let me go ahead and put some thermal paste on there. And then here, like, I'm going to zoom in on this. Hopefully you guys can still see it. I still have that message up there, but hopefully it's not like totally too choppy right now. But let me go and like I also like don't do the best job, and I'm not going to spread it for this one, but that's about like half a pea size, maybe like 2 grains of rice. But that's kind of how how much thermal paste I put on. I don't know how you all do it though. But I'm pretty satisfied with that amount. And I've noticed that like I don't see much of a difference anyway, so I'm trying to remember if this has an orientation or not. I don't think it does. Or maybe it does. We'll figure it out. Okay, so this is the Thermalright. I think this is the Peerless Assassin like 120 SE. Unfortunately, I didn't get the Evo. And hold on one second. What did I do here? Oh, I need to take off these brackets. Okay, these brackets gotta go. I was looking at it, I'm like, wait, this doesn't fit. X and a dot. Oh, okay. Have you tested like other methods, like, and that's what you found to be your go-to? Because I used to be a spreader, but then I think maybe if it was like my personal PC that I know I'm going to be like keeping for a while, I'd probably still spread it. But obviously I'm doing this for the stream, and so it's not meant to like last forever. But I don't know. I guess but the P method, like I feel like it's like a good average. So I think that's what I'm doing right now. Go ahead and put that there. So now I'm just installing the hardware for the CPU cooler. I'm just trying to think out loud. Like, do I need which orientation this bracket needs to be in? I guess we'll find out when I put it in there. Okay. It's a good thing I'm doing this now with the side panel not on in the back yet, because I don't think we would be able to do it. But let me do like a little quick dry fit to see if I have it aligned properly. Ooh, maybe I don't. No, I don't. Okay, so I did it backwards. Let's see. Bear Design Living wrote, do you think installing a DVD player or reader is still okay? Because all my older games, especially my simulators, are in DVD format. The way I look at it, if you need it, then definitely install it. I mean, I obviously don't need it, and so I don't have it on any of my PCs. But if you need it, yeah, you definitely should install it. But another way to go too is just to get a portable DVD. That way you can just like use USB to install any media that you need. And then when you've done that, then obviously burn it so that you no longer have to use the CD, like make an image of it. Or, I don't know, you know, what game it is. Maybe upgrade the game too. Let's see. Speaking tech, the new rectangular CPUs kind of need the spread. Maybe maybe that'd be a pretty interesting thing to test out. But I'll spread for my personal stuff. But for the stream, we're just gonna go with the dot. And then Speaking Tech wrote, I employ an optical on a machine, but it's primary use machine. Yeah, I think I still have an optical drive somewhere in the garage, but you know, I've kept it as a hoarder, and I have not needed it in like the entire time I've lived here. So it's like almost like 5 years, and I don't think I ever will. But I mean, again, I think it's good to have around maybe. But I wouldn't like go out to seek one anymore. Okay, so I'm almost done with these brackets. Okay, so now we've got the brackets in, and I should be able to screw this in now. I really hope there's no orientation for it, otherwise I'm kind of like screwed. Okay. Okay, cool. They line up. And thankfully I have my huge screwdriver. I tightened it up too much on one side. It is really cool having the heat spreader though, because I'm still old enough to remember not having the heat spreaders at all, and that's always sketchy. Actually, you probably saw my other stream, but so this is a 9900K. I did show this on the other stream, but I like showing it off though. It's so fun. But it's a 9900K, but I took off the heat spreader, and so this actually still gives me some anxiety whenever I'm installing it, because there is like a shield around it, but it is still lower than the actual core. And what that means is, like, if you do rock the CPU cooler or water block too hard on it, you could technically still break the CPU die. So it is a little spicy installing that one. And normally I just water cool it, but I've been trying to air cool it recently. I got my hands on like a like an old like cryo rig, but I haven't had the time to install it yet. Okay, so I know I have to install 2 fans on this thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now, I think. I'm just going to install the stock fans that come with it. And a lot of cables. Alright, so I think the middle fan was a little harder to deal with, so I'm going to go ahead and install that one first. I'm just going to snake these cables in, and these are the clips that work with it. I really should have probably like grabbed the manual for this thing, because it's been a few months since I've installed this thing. I'm assuming it's like this. Okay. And let me know if is it still choppy, because I still see the message. I just don't know, like, did it correct itself or not. Real bummer to have the internet issues too, so my apologies. My apologies. Alright, so I think you put it flush like that, and then bring in these clips. Alright, cool. We've got 1 fan on, and now for the second one. And I'll be running this on a splitter, because this motherboard actually only has two fan slots on it. It's really bare bones, but what can you expect from a company that's essentially dead? Well, dead to the US market at least. So I'm gonna go install the RAM. It's just it still uses DDR4. You know, it's funny, like I keep talking about the RTX 4090, I would upgrade my GPU before upgrading my CPU at this point, to be honest. I think it's also because I don't really play like the super high or like high paced games, and so I don't really need that like Counter-Strike level amount of like frames that a CPU could bring. But I play with like sometimes I play with the like a 4K screen. My normal gaming setup is the ultra wide. That's 1440. It's lower than 4K, but it's like higher than 2K. And so basically, I would rather have like more horsepower on the GPU side than I need on the CPU side. So it would be sick to have the 5090. Value-wise, it's terrible though. It's actually quite horrible. Well, especially when you think about like the 5080, that thing is, based on the reviews I've been seeing, that thing is like the worst buy you can have right now. Okay, so just to prove that like the case can take modern, like well performing coolers, obviously it's still shorter than the actual case itself. I think so I don't have it. I can't prove it because I don't own it, but I did make it so that the case can work with the Thermalright. What is it called? The something Evo, the Evo version of something, and it's like one of the best like air coolers you can get, and it's like, I think it's like $40. But I think at the time when I bought this, it wasn't available to buy. However, again, you can definitely just like use something like that. Or the Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 is a really great cooler, and it obviously fits. And so let me go ahead and turn off this auto zoom. And I'm not seeing more chat, so I'm wondering if like Like I was asking if like it's still jittery. Maybe it is. Maybe it's so jittery that I can't even like open chat anymore. Hold on. Let me check my phone.